And here we go. And we're live here on Facebook. I'd like to welcome those listening in podcast land, and also my buddy Rich. Rich, how you doing today?
I'm doing good. A little tired as we were at a promotion graduation ceremony um for my nephew down in Southern Illinois. So getting home and getting into bed much later than usual was kind of throwing me off today.
And now
But
you're going to be even later to bed.
no, not really. No. Because normally I'm up feeding little Vinny.
Okay.
So it'll be okay.
Okay.
I don't have to be up as early tomorrow now.
Nice.
Because I don't have to be out at the I got a men's conference that I'm going to, so I don't have to be
We
at
don't
the
have to do a
church
show
until
at
about
like
8:30.
we don't have to do a show at like 6 in the morning.
Yeah, or figuring out how to do it Saturday night,
Yeah, I
Saturday night or Saturday afternoon.
my folks are in town, so it'd be hard for us. Um, but lots to talk about this week. Um, by the way, so it was a tiring week, but you had a good week.
Yeah, it was a good week. So next week, on the road a lot. So I got to go down to Mattoon, Illinois on Wednesday, start Wednesday and Thursday before coming home Thursday night, and then turning around and going to Chicago with you for the Cubs game on Friday. So
Yeah, so I am driving down Thursday night from here. Then we leave Friday. Then Saturday, or then we're in town. Then I come back. We're gonna go camping I work. Then I go on a motorcycle trip to the Black Hills.
ooh,
Then I get back from the Black Hills and I go to we go camping for a day or two, and then from there I have a bachelor party in the Wisconsin Dells, and then I come
yeah,
back, and then a week later we have family stuff going on, and then a week after that it's Fourth of July week. So guess what? I'm
all the
coming in
good
town
gear
again,
for
and
the Fourth of
then
July.
I'm there for a week, and then I come back, and July is relatively calm. We have one other trip that's just been planned for um,
or July after your or July after you get back
Fourth of July,
from Fourth of July. It's pretty calm after that.
but um, I'm gonna have to look at something. Uh, okay, we have something else that got planned. I don't know. I got to look at some stuff, but then after that, um, we have a wedding in August, the weekend of my wife's birthday. Uh, we have a wedding in Kentucky.
A wedding in Kentucky.
Yeah.
Wow.
Then
So a busy
school
summer.
starts.
Yeah, busy summer. So
I'm tired of. I want it. Wake me up when September ends. Going to be because I'm in a coma from all this driving and. Bah. No, it's going to be great. I'm super excited. It's my best friend from high school, Solomon Stroop, friend of the show. Love the guy. I wouldn't miss it for the world. It's just going to be a long summer, and I shouldn't like. There's things like I shouldn't have planned certain things, and I should have I should have done better on some things, but
all right, Mike. It's late. We're both kind of tired, and we both got plans in the morning.
yeah.
So let's get this rolling. Let's get this rolling to hopefully keep the yawn count down today.
Yeah.
So Mike, we got racing to talk about as it is All-Star weekend for NASCAR,
Yep.
and Mike, we got to kind of recap our playoff teams for the NBA and the NHL.
We
Um,
have a MLB check-in for the Cubs week, and we also have to talk some final esports of the season, all that and more. But let's go ahead and roll that intro.
Broadcasting live from somewhere in Iowa, this is Balls and Sticks, the podcast, with your hosts, Mike and Rich.
And we're back. Okay, with that, Rich, we got a poll question. Poll questions. I feel every week I say poll questions, and I always want to say our sponsored by. We need a sponsor for poll questions.
Okay, it could be another unofficial sponsor, but I think I might have an idea. I don't know if they'll ever know that. I don't know.
Pitch it. Just do it right here.
All right. We'll go with Route Irish Coffee Company. Route Irish Coffee Company is a veteran-owned and operated coffee roasting company by my buddy Brian Wyrich. So when I'm going down to Southern Illinois for my business trip, I'll be swinging by his house to stock my pantry up. So
nice.
Route Irish Coffee Company, check them out on the Facebook, as well as just do a Google search for them and support a local business, local veteran-owned business.
Do you want to spell that so that I can look it up?
Oh, just Route Irish.
Oh, Route.
Coffee. Route Irish Coffee, named after the most deadliest road in Iraq and it was one of the routes that our company did convoy security for.
Wow.
Anyway, this week's poll question was we had a freeze tag versus softball.
Yeah.
I gotta think where I went with this one, to be honest. It says that I voted for softball.
Yep, I did softball as well.
Yeah, so I think I remember more softball as a middle school activity. But I mean, we had gym classes. We kind of played it as kind of like tournament style in middle school, high school. Middle school, high school, and I thought it was always fun, even if it was like a giant ball. It was a larger padded softball, so you didn't necessarily need gloves.
Like tape ball?
Yeah, tape ball. So I think my preferred, because it was always somebody from the same team pitching to you, so it wasn't like they were trying to strike you out per se.
Yeah.
So I think I always preferred to play next to the pitcher to get those soft hits there, because there was no way I didn't necessarily want to be at a base where I'd be catching that ball.
I was all for it. Okay, Rich, I voted for softball just because I love baseball, softball, all the balls. And who wants to stand still when you're in gym class? Mm-hmm. Apparently, Nathan Ross. I'm just kidding, but he picked freeze tag. Whereas the rest of us, Danielle, Hart, Rich, Hendricks, and myself all voted for softball.
All right. This week's poll question will be number 15 seeded beanbag dodgeball versus Foursquare. And that poll question is live over on Fans of Balls and Sticks on Facebook. All right, Mike, do you see what's coming up next?
Is it a left turn?
It is a left-hand turn, Mike. And what's after that?
Is it another left turn?
It is, Mike. And that's because we're going to go into the NASCAR Corner. The NASCAR Corner is presented by AAA Sports Cards Incorporated, Moline, Illinois, and you can also find them on eBay. AAA Sports Cards Incorporated. Mike, last week they were at the Glen for the Go Bowling at the Glen, which is a road course. Mike, how did our drivers do?
Rich, last week, your driver, AJ Allmendinger, finished 7th. My driver of Connor Zilich finished 20th. And your winner, as with most road courses these days, is
Shane Van Gisbergen.
Yeah. So with that, Rich, you go up to 8-6 on the season. You have honors. But it's the All-Star Week. Rich,
It is the All-Star Week.
you have some rules on here, so I'll let you put your rules out, and then I'm gonna propose an amendment on the air. And I'm sorry, I shouldn't have done that. I should have proposed it previously, but I didn't. So
Okay, so with this not being a fantasy NASCAR sanctioned race, with it be so essentially this is an exhibition race. We've always done the All-Star race as an all or nothing race.
100% agree.
Only way you're going to get points for this is if the driver you select wins the race, at which point you get 2 points.
Yep.
Just like we do with our regular race. And then since this race is also not a race where you're selecting a 36 for 36 driver, our restriction of having to pick a different driver every week will not be in effect.
Okay.
So you can pick anybody in the field.
The only amendment I will propose, I let you decide. Honors for the Cokes or the Pepsi or whatever 600 it is.
Yes, yeah.
Honors are on the line. Other than that, if you don't win, you don't get anything.
Yep, that is correct.
Okay.
I think that's why we treat the Clash at the Coliseum or that's how we've always counted the exhibition clash race. Is the driver that we pick that finishes higher gets honors for the next sanctioned race. So yes, if we win, we get 2 points. If neither driver wins, the higher position gets the pick for the next scheduled race, which is the Coke 600. So Mike, I haven't chosen Ross Chastain yet, but I'm going to go with him as my favorite driver.
Okay.
So the race this year is the All-Star race for the first time is at Dover Motor Speedway at the Monster Mile this week as well.
Sorry about that. Yeah, it's at Dover, so watch out for that. All or nothing. I 100% agree. Let's go. I have picked Denny Hamlin this year, or have I not? I don't remember.
Yes, you have.
Okay.
You have chosen Denny Hamlin.
But I'm going to pick him anyway.
But it's okay.
Because let's cheer for our favorite drivers, and it doesn't cost us anything.
That is correct. Give me one moment here. The race format. I was skimmed an article earlier today. Want to make sure that those two drivers are already locked into the field, and they don't have to race their way in. I'm pretty sure Denny Hamlin is. I'll still root for Denny. Okay, yes. So those locked in so far to the race in alphabetical order: Christopher Bell, Josh Berry, Ryan Blaney, Chase Briscoe, Kyle Busch, William Byron, Ross Chastain, Austin Cindric, Austin Dillon, Chase Elliott, Ty Gibbs, SVG, Denny Hamlin, Carson Hocevar, Keselowski, Kyle Larson, Joey Logano, Tyler Reddick, and Bubba Wallace. So yes, so both the drivers we have picked are locked into the race. They do not need to depend on the fan vote or qualifying or the heat races to get into the main event. So Mike, before we go into the MLB, do you have any? Is Cletus McFarland up to anything? It seems like you haven't mentioned him in a while.
It's been a hard week for Cletus McFarland, so I didn't talk about it, but the guy that gave him his start died a little over a week ago, and so he had his memorial today, actually. I don't think he's participating in anything this week. I do believe I know that he has more to come, but I don't know what all that is, so I don't know. Sorry.
No, I'm just curious. That's all.
Yep.
Anything else for the NASCAR world?
I got nothing.
All right, Mike. Go ahead and take us out.
This has been the NASCAR Corner, presented as always by Triple I Sports Cards Incorporated, Moline, Illinois. Check them out for all your sports memorabilia needs on 5th Avenue in Moline or on their eBay store. Once again, that is Triple I Sports Cards Incorporated. Rich, let's keep making left turns as we head into the MLB. Running on the dirt, the Cubs kind of skidded out this week as they lost 2 against the Texans. Lost the first 2 against Atlanta, only to take the last one, and then won tonight against the White Sox.
Yeah, making them 2-4 on the week. Mike, I will say it was nice to see a Cubs game on TV, even if I had to listen to the White Sox broadcast team.
Yeah, I almost paused it and put the radio on, and then
tried to sync it up.
Yeah, because that was annoying.
Yeah, it kind of was.
If I get to watch Sunday's game or tomorrow's game, I'm doing that.
Okay, I think so the reason that we actually got the game was I didn't look to see whether I had the Chicago Sports Network channel, the White Sox regional carrier, but I guess a local ABC affiliate up in the Chicagoland area simulcasted the game through local over the air, and our local ABC affiliate here in the Quad Cities picked it up. So that's how I watched the game. I didn't even look to see whether I had the White Sox normal channel.
Well, I can find out.
So I think the Saturday game is also being broadcast on the WCIU, which is I think must be an ABC affiliate up in the Chicago area. So I don't know whether News Channel 8 will pick up the game or not.
I can bring it up right here, and I will be able to let you know.
But anyway, Mike, you had 5 wins for him last week. I said 4. They only got the 2, but Atlanta is just as hot as the Cubs right now. And I mean, Texas is still a good team too. So it was a tough week.
Yeah, it really was.
It wasn't a tough week. So, Mike, the upcoming week, it's rivalry week, as MLB is calling it.
We got to talk about that.
Yeah, with 2 with the Chicago White Sox to finish out the weekend before the Milwaukee Brewers come into town for night games on Monday through Wednesday. We'll give you our pick for Friday's game against the Houston Astros, as well as the next week's Cubs game on Friday, Mike. As we're going to find a way to do a show, maybe even a quick show before we hit the road up to the Chicagoland area to go see the game.
Yeah.
So how many wins are you giving them, with accounting for those 5 games with the White Sox and the Brewers, before we talk about rivalry week?
3. I just think that makes sense.
Yeah, I'll go with the winning week as well.
Okay. So here's what I'm going to list the teams that are playing for rivalry weekend / week. We're going to talk about the weekend. Okay. Most of these make sense. I'll save the 2 that, to me, is a bit of a stretch, but I can make one of them make sense. There's one game, I think it's just.
Are we going to do maybe a thumbs up, thumbs down, and whether that makes sense to call that a rivalry?
Sure.
Okay.
Phillies Pirates.
Yeah, the Battle of Pennsylvania.
Battle of Pennsylvania.
Okay with that. Okay.
The Battle of DC Baltimore. Makes sense.
Yeah.
45 minutes away. Tigers Blue Jays. Yep.
Yeah. They're close enough. Detroit and Toronto.
Reds Guardians.
Battle of Ohio.
Sure. Yep.
Yeah. Well, I'm okay with that.
Rays Marlins. Battle of Florida.
Yeah, yeah. Battle of Florida. Probably both fan bases. Neither fan base really care about the rivalry, but
Nope.
sure.
Battle of Florida. Twins Brewers. Battle of the North.
Okay. Yeah.
They're the two northernmost cities, I believe. Well, maybe. I don't know. But sure. Wisconsin, Minnesota, essentially one state. If you're listening,
they used to be in the same division when the Brewers were in the American League too.
So I'm fine with that one. That one makes sense. Yankees, Mets, the subway.
The Subway Series, yeah.
Oh, I forgot this one. Yeah, this one to me doesn't make all that much sense. So that one I'm gonna skip. Cubs, White Sox. That one makes sense. Crosstown. Astros, Texans, or Astros, Rangers.
Astros, Rangers, yeah, Texas.
Makes sense.
Texas
Battle of Texas. Battle of Missouri. KC and St. Louis.
Yeah.
That one I'm skipping. The Battle of LA.
Angels, Dodgers?
Yep. It's the Battle of LA. Geographically, it makes sense. I agree with you. That is not the Dodgers rivalry.
No, they're right. If you want to say, oh, we're going to have everybody play their rival, they should be playing the Giants this week.
Right, but the Giants are playing. This one only makes sense for their previous.
Are they
location.
playing the Athletics?
Yes.
Yeah. Now that the A's are in Sacramento, before going to Vegas,
it's a little bit more of a stretch.
I would not say that they are geographical rivals anymore.
Right, but there's the history there, so sure. Now we get on the ones that I think don't make a ton of sense.
Okay.
Who do you think Boston should play in a rivalry game?
In a rivalry game, they should be playing the Yankees.
Right, but the Yankees are busy. They're playing the Mets.
So a team we haven't listed out yet.
Atlanta.
Yeah, I guess, but does Atlanta have a geographical rival?
Again, no, but
the Braves used to play in Boston.
Sure. Yeah, but before they were in Atlanta, they were in Milwaukee. They went Boston, Milwaukee, Atlanta.
Yeah.
So, okay. So that's the first one I'm going to say definitely not.
Yeah.
The next one kind of makes sense. And it is the Battle of the Mountain Time Zone.
The Diamondbacks and the Rockies?
Yeah.
But once again, I mean,
bit of a stretch.
Yeah, the Rockies are kind of like in no man's land.
Right. And the Diamondbacks are technically in Mountain Time Zone.
Yeah. So I would say once the A's move to Vegas, Phoenix and Vegas should take on a geographical rivalry.
Okay.
And who are the Padres playing this week, Mike?
Seattle.
Nope.
That one makes zero sense. Like that and Boston and Atlanta, those two make zero sense.
Yeah. But you know what? There's no probably good geographical rival. Because the Padres, you could say the Padres are more
the A's
aligned
or the Angels.
I would say the Padres are more aligned with the Giants and the Dodgers for rivalries. But if you're gonna pigeonhole in the Giants got to play the A's because they used to be
sure
it used to be the battle for the Bay and battle of L.A. with Anaheim and Los Angeles.
So
those two are automatically playing together.
Here are my proposals to change this.
Seattle is also in northernmost, that the only way they're going to get a geographical rival is if they put a baseball team in Vancouver or Portland, and that's not going to happen until expansion.
So here's where I think it might. Here's where I think it should change, and this is going to change a lot of stuff. The Giants play the Dodgers.
Okay.
The A's play the Diamondbacks.
Because somebody's got to play them. Okay.
And then the Rockies play the Mariners, and the Padres and the Angels play each other. Padres and Angels are as close to each other as anybody is to the Padres. By the way, I could also accept the Padres and the Diamondbacks and the Rockies and Mariners.
Yeah. And you keep like this random matchup between Boston and Atlanta to call that a...
But that's at least we get down to one that doesn't make sense.
You know what? I'll go this one. For this rivalry week, make it Yankees, Red Sox, and then have the Mets play the Braves. Because of there's some history being in the same division.
Yeah. But nobody's playing anybody in the same division.
No.
So none of it, like, again.
I mean, I know it's the Crosstown Classic, but I would say with competitive-wise, I would...
St. Louis?
In a hierarchy of rivalries, I would say for the Cubs, it goes Cardinals, Brewers, then the White Sox.
And I would agree. And by the way, if the Cubs played the Cardinals, the Battle of 55...
Then you could put Kansas City and Colorado.
Which makes sense. And then the White Sox could play either the Twins or the Brewers. The Brewers have them play the Twins. The Brewers play the Battle of Lake Michigan. So the Brewers play Detroit.
Then what do you do with Toronto?
Boston.
Toronto and Boston. Okay.
Somebody's got to be holding the bag. So Atlanta still needs somebody. Who did I kick out?
You know, the Boston one, with future rumored expansion possibly going to Nashville and Atlanta. So if you put a franchise in Portland, Oregon, either Portland, Oregon, or either Salt Lake City, Utah, that gives you somebody for the Mariners. And if you put a team in Nashville, Tennessee, that gives somebody for the Braves to play.
Yeah.
Then this expansion team in Salt Lake City either matches up with
the Rockies
with the Vegas A's or the Rockies or the Mariners.
Yeah.
And then the Nashville team obviously gets paired up with Atlanta, being close together.
Either way, I don't like any of what's going on. Like, some of them make sense, I suppose. Like the crosstown and the cross state, that makes sense. I even think Boston and Blue Jays make sense. That one makes sense. Tigers, Blue Jays, but Boston and Atlanta doesn't make any sense. Arizona and Colorado don't make any sense, and San Diego and Seattle make zero sense.
Yeah, but if anything, once you start, if you have these franchises where we went off and named all these matchups, that makes sense. If you're left with San Diego, Boston, Atlanta, and Seattle, those are four cities that, after you've paired everybody up, those are the four leftover teams.
Yeah.
So they got to play. They can't take the weekend off and not play and sit out for 3 games. So
No, it makes sense. Like, it's the only way to make it work. I don't like it. And so are they expanding that to the rest of the week too?
I don't think so.
No,
it just
they
so
aren't.
happens to coincide that we get the Brewers next.
Yeah.
Because that's what the MLB scheduling algorithm said that's when we're going to play.
Okay. Whatever.
It just happens to work out that way for us.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree. 3 wins we're both picking 3 wins for them this week. And yeah, and then we'll figure out, we'll give you our picks for the Friday game, which normally is a show-to-show game that we include as a Friday afternoon. But since we're going to the game, we'll give you our pick for that on Friday.
Yeah. Okay, with that, Rich, the NBA playoffs are solidly underway. The Thunder won round 2, sweeping the Lakers, and LeBron's still crying about it because they didn't get enough fouls, or they didn't get enough this, or they didn't get enough... Shut up. And then your Spurs did they win? They are currently playing... the Spurs are...
They are up 112 to 84.
85.
Okay, in the fourth quarter. So by the time we
with
talk
11 minutes done. So
when we talk on Friday, we could be seeing
86.
We could be seeing.
They just started the fourth quarter, but yeah.
So yeah, when we talk next week, Mike, we could be potentially previewing a Thunder Spurs Western Conference Finals.
Yep.
Western Conference Finals.
So let's also go down to the Stanley Cup, and you tell us how they're doing.
All right, the Stanley Cup. My pick of the Hurricanes swept the Flyers 4-0 in round 2. They move on to the Eastern Conference Finals with Game 1 and a team to be determined. Mike, your Avalanche won 4-1 over the Minnesota Wild. They play the Vegas Golden Knights in the Western Conference Finals, with that series starting Monday.
Okay. With that, Rich, that's the end of our main topics. Let's do a quick esports update, as esports has announced, or esports, we lost our final game of the season of our play-in game, so we are not going to state. So I don't have to drive to Marshalltown this week, which is kind of nice. But Marvel Rivals is still playing. We have a game Monday, maybe a game Wednesday or Thursday. I don't know. I'm not sure how that's going to look, but we'll see. With that, Rich, do you have any shout-outs for the week?
I do, Mike.
Do you?
I do.
Yeah.
It's your birthday, Mike.
Oh, okay.
Your birthday is the 20th.
Yeah.
So it happens before we record our next show. So you get your shout out this week, Mike. Happy birthday.
I'm 41 now. I'll be 41 by then. Blah. I do have to give a shout out. Solomon Stroop, a friend of the show who we talked about earlier, who's getting married this year, turned 41 on Wednesday. So he's exactly 7 days older than me. Happy birthday, Solomon. With that, Rich, what's the time to do?
Well, Mike, before we roll the outro, if you're listening to us here on YouTube and you just want the audio version, look up Balls and Sticks, the podcast, wherever you download on your preferred podcast site. I know we're on Spotify, Google's platform, as well as Apple Podcasts, just to name a few. And you can find and if you're listening to us through podcasts and you want to interact with the show and see the visual portion of it, check us out over on YouTube, and the poll questions can be found on Fans of Balls and Sticks, the podcast. So Mike, with all that being said, let's go ahead and roll the outro.
Broadcasting live from somewhere in Iowa, this is Balls and Sticks, the podcast, with your hosts, Mike, and Rich.